Hello, everybody. I have a really big manga, book, and novel haul for you guys today. I hope everyone had a happy holiday. I'm filming this on December 28th, so right after Christmas, before New Year's. So happy New Year's. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and New Year's, and hope you had some time off from school or work or whatever. So in this video, I have about 68 books, and 57 of them are manga. There are 8 novels, and then there are 3 volumes of American comics. So I'm going to be showing you guys all of that. Plus, I have some random knickknacks and that are like sports-related memorabilia that I'm really excited about. No one else, people might not care, but I'm going to show them anyway. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. So starting off with some of the manga. Record of Ragnarok, Volume 4. I bought this fairly recently. I've only read Volume 1, but I really liked it. And I've just been buying the other volumes because I'm sort of under the assumption that I'm going to like it and want to keep reading it. But I don't know. It looks really cool, so I think at this point I should read all the volumes I have before I buy another one. Then I have Lupin the Third, Greatest Heists. This is, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a best of selection from Monkey Punch's series Lupin the Third. Yeah, it literally says it on the back. Collection of 12 classic stories. I bought this recently. I have yet to read it yet, but I'm very excited to read it. I don't remember why I bought it. I think I had like a gift card or something for like Target, and I was just looking online, and I don't know. This was not something that I was like planning to buy, but it ended up happening. It's a really nice book. I like these, classic collections. What company is this? That Seven Seas puts out these nice hardcover books, and I like reading old manga, so I'm sure I will enjoy it. If you've read any of these books and you have a comment, just leave it in the comment section, or just leave a comment about anything. Then another book I got recently was Origin Volume 1. This is, I don't know too much about this. I wonder if that's showing up so you can read it. But it's about Tokyo 2048. The entire Northern Hemisphere is now connected by the Eurasian Railroad, which posits all manner of crime and vice here at the Eastern Terminus. The megalopolis is gripped by fear as night after bodies turn up, mutilated in ways unthinkable for a human assailant. Remorseless, the killer stalks the shadows, but one man stalks them. He is Origin, and he's not what he seems. Okay, so anyway, the reason I bought this is it's illustrated by and written by Boichi, however you pronounce it. He's the illustrator of most famously Dr. Stone, and I really love his art. So when I saw that this book was out, or that there was a book of entirely his work, like his writing, his art, I jumped on the chance to buy it. I make it sound like you had to act fast, but I'm sure you're gonna be able to buy this years from now. But anyway, I had gift cards from the holidays, and this book just caught my eye. I've not yet finished Dr. Stone. I have a couple volumes left to read, but it's not my favorite, but I really, really love the art, so I wanted to give this a try, and it looked pretty cool. I'd love to read his other work, Sunken Rock, at some point. I don't think that has an official English release yet, but I can always read it online. Then another book I got with holiday gift cards was Welcome to the Ballroom Volume 4. I absolutely love this series, and I think it's on hiatus right now, But every now and then I will pick up a volume, and every time I read it, I'm just reminded of how much I love it. I remember a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, I got volumes 2 and 3, or I was reading volume 3, and I remember thinking to myself that it was amazing. Like, volume 3 was like the volume where I was really like, it went from being good to being great. So I have very high hopes for this volume, and it just always reminds me that I should buy more, because I think there's like 11 volumes out right now, and it's just a really, really good series. The next 2 books I have are Blue Box, Volume 6 and Volume 7. I've talked about it a lot on this channel, just how much I love the series. I love sports, and I just think this is just a really well done manga. I think the art is beautiful. Every week when I'm reading the new Shonen Jump chapters online, this is the series that I'm most looking forward to reading. And I just think the characters are so well written. It avoids a lot of the usual pitfalls of, I think, a lot of other romance series. I probably don't need to say too much about it, because I think many people are on board with this series and they love this series. I believe it's getting an anime. I want to say that it is. But anyway, I absolutely love this manga, and I'm trying to stay up to date on it as the new releases come out, because I don't want to have to I don't want it to go out of print years later, because I forgot to buy the volumes. Then I have a complete series, Astra Lost in Space, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. And Volume 5 is very thick. Oh, come on. This glare. This is the worst camera setup ever. Whatever. I also have, let me pull this out, another volume that I bought, and I'm showing this because it's by the same author, is Witch Watch, but this is Japanese, so this is Volume 1. But anyway, I had Volume 1 of Astra Lost in Space for the longest time, and then I came across the complete set on eBay. I don't remember how much I paid for it, and I decided just to buy the whole thing. And I have an extra copy of Volume 1 that I'm going to try and sell. But I'm looking forward to reading this. I've already read it. I love the twist at the end. If you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But so I love it. I thought it was a very fun sci-fi adventure. Bunch of high school kids trapped in space trying to get back to their home planet. And there's sort of this like mystery. I can't show that image. I don't know if this was in Shonen Jump. I feel like it might have been, maybe Viz was publishing the chapters weekly or something as it was coming out. The art is fantastic. This is written and illustrated by Kenta Shinohara. I don't know if I need to show pictures from every single volume, but yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading it, to, I guess, rereading it again, because I remember it being kind of dense, like there was a lot of stuff packed in, so being able to read it in one go or in a very short span of time would be helpful. Then I also, as I said before, I got Witch Watch. I bought this at, I forget the Japanese bookstore name, Kunu Kainia or something. I'm probably butchering. That's probably not what it's called. I am so bummed that Witch Watch does not have an official English print release. I know it's their Viz is publishing the chapters online every week, and I know there's like a digital release, but there should be physical volumes out. Like, this series is so good, and I think it's popular. It must be popular. There's a little something on the inside cover here. Oh, and cool. There's the image continues. That's pretty cool. But I just love Witch Watch so much, and I just think it's a shame that the physical volumes aren't out in English. I am learning Japanese slowly but surely, so maybe I'll be able to read it one day, and Japanese volumes are cheaper, but it's just, Viz, if you're watching this video, and I know you're not, why don't we have physical volumes of Witch Watch? Like, what the fuck? Okay. Anyway, next up, I got a bunch of volumes of Case Closed. This is 33, 34, and 35. I think I got these a couple months ago. I'm in no hurry to read Case Closed. As much as I love it, like, there are always going to be volumes out, always going to be volumes to buy. Case Closed is one of my favorite mangas of all time. I guess it is kind of repetitive, but I don't know. I just really love the mysteries and trying to figure stuff out and see if I can solve the case before Conan solves it. And I think I kind of like the art too. Like, it's not the best. It's kind of cartoony. Some of the characters look the same, like some of the side characters, but I don't know. It has a style that I've never seen before in any other manga. I don't know why I think many people love Case Closed, but I now have 3 more volumes to add to my collection. I'm trying to think. This might be, out of all the manga series I own, I think Case Closed is like one of the ones I have the most volumes for. I know Naruto is in first. Then maybe Eye Shield. One Piece is up there too, but I guess the point is I have a ton of volumes of Case Closed. I just spit on my keyboard. Okay, so then just the way I've arranged the stack, I'm going to talk about some American comics now, and then we'll go back to manga and other stuff. So I got, this is Dick Tracy, the Chester Gold, I think it's pronounced Gold, complete set of Dick Tracy from 1931 to 1933. So I really like reading old books and movies and like the classics as they're sometimes called. And I've never read a Dick Tracy comic book or comic strip before, but as I said, like, I love these old sort of stuff, and I feel like, at least in my mind, there's a lot you can learn about it, and you can, I think a lot of, different comics and maybe movies and books and stuff were drew their influence from these Dick Tracy comics. So just being the aspiring comic book artist that I am, and avid reader and collector of comics, this was something that I really wanted to read, and I decided, stupid pop-up, and I decided to go ahead and, with some holiday money, buy this book. And this is volume 1 of God knows how many. The first volume of the complete Chester Gold's Dick Tracy includes nearly 600 comic strips, encompassing the series beginning from October 1931 to May 1933. I think Dick Tracy, the comic, is still going on now, but I believe Chester Gold was the original artist, the original writer. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down and reading this. Then I got another classic comic book American comic strip series, and that is Pogo by Walt Kelly. This is volumes 2 and 3 of the complete set. I think I don't know how many volumes there are, but volume 3 is from 1953 and 1954, and then volume 4 is 1955 to 1956. I already have the first box set. that, contains volume 1 and volume 2. Let me take these books out. I remember reading them a couple years ago, and Pogo's not my favorite. My favorite is Calvin and Hobbes. But I remember Bill Watterson, the creator of Calvin and Hobbes, he said that Pogo, Charlie Brown, and I think Crazy Cat were like his biggest influences. So I wanted to go in and read these. And I remember reading the first 2 books in this like Pogo complete like reprinted set. And I didn't think it was super funny, but I just thought it was super interesting. Like, Walt Kelly's art is fantastic. It's unbelievably detailed. There's this huge cast of characters, and I don't know how to describe the humor. Like, I think a lot of it was like very political in nature, and I think every year or every presidential election, Pogo would like run for president. There's a lot of sort of like satire and political jokes in here. I remember reading something, maybe it was in an introduction, about how that there was like over 1,000 characters in this comic book strip. I know Pogo, I don't know the years, but like it ran for a very long time, from I guess like the early 50s to like the 70s or something, the 80s. It ran for a couple decades, and I think Walt Kelly's son took over. I might be wrong about that, but I love the art in here. I just think it's so detailed, especially compared to like other comic books or something. As much as I love Calvin and Hobbes, like the art in there is much more simplified compared to this. Like, this just feels like its own world, and it's I don't know. I need to read more of Pogo to appreciate it. I remember my dad telling me a couple years ago that some people, like, I don't know if he said religion or like cult following, but some people really, really love Pogo and these characters. Oh, if in case you don't know, maybe I should explain this. Pogo is the possum, and he is the main character, and there are all these other animals, and they live in this swamp. I forget what the swamp is called. I just realized, forward by Neil Gaiman. That's what, by Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is I've not read any of his books, but I have a huge respect for him. I know many people love his work and stuff, so I'm going to be very interested to read what he has to say. I think I might go and read the first 2 books before I read these. Not that I think it's necessary for a comic strip, but that's just kind of how my brain works. Okay. Okay, so let's go to... I guess we'll go to some manga / novels next. This might be a longer video than I thought. So I got... These 2 things go together. The No Longer Human manga by Usamaru Furuya. And then I also got the original novel by Osamu Dazai. So I don't know much about the original novel. Just to read the back, mine has been a life of shame. I can't even guess myself what it must be to live the life of a human being. Portraying himself as a failure, the protagonist of Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human narrates a seemingly normal life, even while he feels himself incapable of understanding human beings. Oba Yozo's attempts to reconcile himself to the world around him began in early childhood, continue through high school, where he becomes a, quote, clown to mask his alienation, and eventually led to a failed suicide attempt as an adult. Without sentimentality, he records the casual cruelties of life and its fleeting moments of human connection and tenderness. So this is, I know going into this that this is very depressing, and I know that the author committed suicide like shortly after writing this. So I'm very interested in reading this, and I know the manga is well regarded too. I think there's a Junji Ito version of the manga, but I heard that not necessarily that this was better, but I heard that I heard some people say that the Junji Ito one leads a little bit more into the horror aspect. I don't want to make too big of a judgment on that because I haven't read either of these yet. I think I'm going to read the novel first and then the manga. That's my plan. Also, it bugs me that this is printed in the flipped orientation compared to other manga. Like if you look at Case Closed, like I don't understand why they do that. But whatever. It's still a really nice book, and I say this with everything, but I'm looking forward to reading it. I guess it would be bad if I bought a book that I wasn't looking forward to reading. Okay, then sticking with novels. Now this might be something that only I'm excited about, but I bought a bunch of how do I want to do this? I bought a bunch of Redwall novels. I guess I'll show them all in camera first. So I bought 7 Redwall novels. For those of you who don't know, Redwall is a fantasy series about a group of animals that live in Redwall Abbey. They live in Mossflower Woods, and the series is written. There are 22 books, and it's written by Brian Jacques. He was an English writer. He has sadly passed away. But all the stories the books are written in a non-chronological order. So the first book, Redwall, is the first book. Then Mossflower, the second book, is a prequel. Then the third book, Matomeo, is a sequel. And then after that, all the books talk about a different moment in the history of this world. Like this one right here, this is volume 13. Lord Brocktree talks about this character, and Lord Brocktree was mentioned in some of the other books, and it almost seems like the author Brian Jacques, fans would say to him like, we're really interested in this character, can you write a novel about this character? I don't know exactly if that's how it worked, but so he would write these different books about various characters that he had mentioned in passing in the previous books. So you get this like, there's this whole expansive universe and world in this fantasy series, and it's all animals. I absolutely love it. He has a really interesting way of writing where he uses a lot of imagery. Some of his books were turned into TV shows, and I remember animated TV shows, and I remember watching them as a kid. Like my dad would like record them on like a VHS tape because I would be at school and I would come home and watch them. And I remember at the end of the episode, they would have the author, he would sit there and he would talk into the camera. And I remember at one point he was asked, how do you write so well? And he said, you learn to paint pictures with words. And that was his advice. So I got a bunch of the books. This was volume 14, Tagarun. So I've never read these. I've read a bunch of these books. I've not read these particular ones here. And I bought the rest I needed to complete my collection. This is volume 17, Rackety Tam. Volume 18, Hyrulean or something. So I am very excited. This is volume 20, Doom White. The art on some of these covers are gorgeous. Volume 21, The Sable Queen. And then the last volume that was published, I believe this was published right after he passed away, The Rogue Crew. So I now own all the Redwall books. Maybe at some point in the future video when I'm doing like a manga or book collection, you'll see I can show them all on my shelf. I'm not going to do that right now. But this is just really nostalgic for me because I read the first ones when I was in elementary school, and I was watch the TV show. So to be able to go back and to be able to go back and visit this world, it means a lot to me. And I know there are a lot of classic fantasy books that I have not yet read. Like, I've not read Lord of the Rings, or I didn't get that far into Harry Potter, but this is one of the greatest fantasy series and books that I've ever read. Just all the characters, and even though it's like written probably for like younger kids, middle school kids, and I'm, in my late 20s, I still think these are fantastic. I read one of these books most recently, or not one of these books, but you know what I mean, one of these Redwall books, I think a year or two ago, and I was still just as captivated by it as I was when I was a kid. Also, I don't read I mostly read comics and manga. So when I do sit down and read a novel, it kind of feels like a treat. Like, it feels a little special. And there is something, I don't know. There will always be something cool to me about like a regular book. Okay, so if you couldn't tell, I'm very excited by my Redwall books. Oh, my throat hurts. I'd be very interested if anyone has actually read these Redwall books or knows about them. So next, I have a couple of Japanese volumes of manga. Back to manga. Let's start with this one. This is Ruri's Dragon. Ruri do Dragon. This is a series that is in Weekly Shonen Jump. It's currently on hiatus with only one volume printed, which is such a shame. I wish I really want this series to come back, because I read it when it was first coming out, and I just thought it was fantastic. And after about 6 chapters, I think it stopped because of some health problem that the author was having. But it's about this high school girl named Ruri, who she wakes up one morning with horns coming out of her head, and she basically learns that she's part dragon. Her mom's a human and her dad's a dragon, so she's sort of like, kind of like a slice of life story. At least the first, again, there's only like one volume out, maybe like 6 chapters or something. But sort of like slice of life comedy series about this girl who's going through puberty, except she's like a dragon, so she'll like randomly spit fire or something, and her eyes change, her teeth become sharper, and she has these horns, and just having to go to school, and it's just super cute, super wholesome, and I love it. And I really wish it would come back. I mean, obviously, I hope the author's health is most important, but I want to read more of it. Then, kind of almost the exact opposite, we have Lady Justice Volume 1 and Volume 2, the complete series. I believe this was in Shonen Jump. I don't know what year, but this is about, this is kind of an ecchi series about a girl, I forget her name. I've read this series before online. I forget her name, but she is basically a superhero, and she's super strong. Here she is lifting up a boat, but the problem is she's so strong that she tears through her uniform, or what's it called? Like her costume. I want to see if I can find a picture that is appropriate. So she keeps tearing her costume, and she has to and one of her classmates knows her secret identity, and he has to keep like re-sewing her costume for her. I'm trying to see if I can find a good picture that's appropriate. I mean, the cover of this volume is, sort of exactly what you would imagine. It's not a great series, but I don't know. I read it. I thought it was fun. I think I've talked before that I I kind of like ecchi manga. It's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I guess that's okay. Yeah, the art's okay. It's I don't know. It was a series that I wanted, and now I have it. Volume 2 of Akane-Banashi. I don't know how much I need to talk about this, because I feel like a lot of people are high on this series and they love it. I don't know why. I feel like it's getting an anime, or it definitely will. I read this series every week, and with Blue Box, this is one of the series that I'm most excited to read when it comes out. I don't know. Rakugo's cool. Then I have The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 2, Deluxe Edition. I've not yet read Volume 1. There's a pie on the back. These are gorgeous volumes. Like these books are incredible. They're expensive, but I think it's worth it. I mean, I've not read it, so I don't, but just the quality is fantastic. And I flipped through it a little bit, and the art is fantastic again. I need a thesaurus or something. I think it's about a little girl that lives with demons, and it's kind of this sort of like fairy tale setting. As usual, I'm very excited to read it. I think it's completed in Japan. I think there are about 4 or 5 of these deluxe editions that complete the series. Then I was at that Japanese bookstore that I mispronounced earlier in the video, and I saw these books on the shelf and I couldn't believe it. Blackjack Volume 2 and Blackjack Volume 3. I love Tezuka. I have to buy Tezuka. I have the first volume of Blackjack. That's the only Blackjack I've read was in the first volume. I don't know if I don't think these are like a collection of best of stuff. I think this is, how it was printed in Japan, or at least I'm assuming that. I think just the manga itself was fairly episodic. I think that's just the way Tezuka did it. But it's Tezuka. Like, I will read anything that he's written. I just love his works so much. And again, like, this is another series that I don't need to sit here and like explain to you why it's good. Many people love Blackjack, even if they don't like everything Tezuka does. Like, people love Blackjack. So now I'm going to take a little break and show you guys some little sports memorabilia trinkets that I got that I'm very excited about. So I really like football, American football. I watch it. We're in the middle, towards the end of the season as a film in this. And I watch it, or I'm a New York Jets fan. That's, where I live, and I know if you follow sports, you know how what a disaster this year has been for the Jets. And so I usually just watch like the Jets play. Like, I don't usually watch Monday Night Football, or like I don't watch other teams play unless it's the playoffs. Like, I like, when it comes to sports, I like having a team to cheer for, and unless it's like a very important game, I just kind of, I watch my favorite team. I could have said that much more succinctly. But anyway, I've always loved football helmets. For whatever reason, I've had this like kind of obsession with them. And I found the website a couple months ago or a year ago called Green Gridiron, where you can buy like football helmets. Like, not quite real, but I guess they do sell real football helmets, but they also sell like really high quality collectible helmets. So I wanted to buy some because I have a lot of knickknacks, as you can see in the background of my video. Lots of posters and stuffed animals and just lots of knickknacks. So I guess I'll do these in chronological order. So I wanted to buy a New York Jets one because that's my favorite team. I also wanted to buy a Temple University one because that's where I went to college, and I'm wearing a Temple shirt right now. But Green Gridiron didn't sell a Temple University one. They sell all sorts of other college helmets, but not Temple University. They sell a Coast Guard helmet, but not Temple University. Anyway, so I bought this little mini Temple helmet off of... Oh, that works. Off of... probably muffled the audio. Off of eBay. And I love it. I think it's super, super cool. Owls, that's the school name. I don't know. I love it. I think it's cool. It's kind of nostalgic. Reminds me of being at college. I didn't go into too many football games. I don't really watch college football. Temple's team is not very good. They were really good my freshman year. I saw them beat Penn State. That was the one game I went to. They beat Penn State for like the first time in like 70 years. So that was very exciting. I was at that game. So yeah, I bought this. Then I went, and from the Green Gridiron website, I went and bought this Jets helmet. And the cool thing about Green Gridiron is they have, like, sometimes teams will change their helmets. They have different helmets from like the different eras. So this helmet is like, I'm going to call it the classic Jets helmet. They've had this helmet. This is the helmet that I grew up with as a Jets fan, like in the early 2000s, 2010, like if you know football, Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, Mark Sanchez. This is the helmet they were wearing. I do like the Jets' new helmet. Like, I think it looks cool. I'm a Jets fan, so like I just kind of, I just sort of think it's cool regardless. But this was sort of I decided to buy this mini helmet. I would like to get more mini helmets, more for I don't know any more collegiate schools. I probably won't do that because Temple's the college I went to. But I'd like to buy maybe more Jets helmets or other professional teams that have helmets that I think are really, really cool. Like I love the Bengals helmet, Cincinnati Bengals. I think that looks really, really cool. It sucks that Joe Burrow's out for the season. I know he got injured a couple weeks ago. That kind of sucks. But I love the Bengals uniform, so I'd love to have, mini helmet of that. And so I was thinking about, getting more of these and maybe starting like a mini helmet collection. All the money I'm wasting. I just think these are really, really cool. But anyway, the main thing I'm going to show you is, as much as I'd like to get more mini helmets, I did, this is so stupid and such a waste of money. I bought, that's right, a full-size replica, I can put this on the mic again, Jets helmet. So maybe I should move the mic a little bit. Hopefully it's still picking up the audio. So this helmet, it's not real. It does have some pads, and the pads have a little bit of, squish to it. I've not seen a real football helmet in person, but from what I understand, this is pretty close. Like, it says, they say you can't wear this when you're playing football. I imagine this would protect you from something, but, if you're going to play football, buy an actual helmet. But I love this. This costs more money than I should have spent, especially on like a thing that's really just gonna sit in the corner of my room. I can put this on, and I will put it on for the video. I was looking at it before the video, and I realized I would have to take my headphones off, and I'm not gonna be able to tell how loud I'm talking if I have this on. But I will definitely put it on. So Green Gridiron, they also sell full-size helmets, and some of them are like thousands and thousands, or like $1,000. I did not spend that much on this. A few hundred. We will just leave it at that. It's an American flag decal that came with the helmet that I stuck on the back. The one thing I don't like about this is, so the Jets logo here is a sticker, and as you can see, there are holes in the helmet right back here, and the sticker goes over this hole right here, and I'm worried that if I'm not careful, this is gonna rip. So that kind of sucks, but I don't know. I'm still very happy with it. I feel like they could have just moved this forward a little bit, and then it wouldn't have whatever. So this is so I want just a little bit. So obviously this is, a different Jets helmet than this. This is an alternate helmet. Like the teams, they have regular helmets that they wear, but then they also have an alternate design that they'll wear every now and then for like special games. So this is kind of a throwback helmet. Like they used to have this design, I think in the 70s or in the 80s, like way before I was born. And then they moved on to this design. So this is a alternate helmet with a darker green, but using the old style logo. Let me take off my headphones. I'm going to try not to talk too loudly. I have to take off my glasses, but I'm going to put this helmet on. You have to take these off. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is so cool. I apologize if I'm talking too loudly. I can't hear how loud it sounds. But I absolutely love this. I've never played football in my life before. The chin strap's a little weird. Keep saying but I have to say so it's not a real football helmet. Like it's not, exactly what the pros wear, but I think the real ones are a little bit heavier, but this is already like 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. And it just amazes me that football players can wear this and run as fast as they do, and just play a sport wearing this bulky, uncomfortable thing on their head. Okay, I'm going to take this off now. Also, the Jets are playing tonight. Look at my hair. They're playing against the Browns on Thursday Night Football, so I might be wearing this helmet as I watch the game. Or at the very least, I'll have this sitting next to me as I watch. The Jets aren't doing so well this year. Not going to make the playoffs. But, I still like watching the games. So anyway, as you can tell, I'm very excited about this. I've spent, I don't know how many minutes talking about this helmet. And I said before I wanted to maybe buy more mini helmets, but now that I bought one of the big ones, I kind of want to buy more of them. But these are significantly more expensive than these mini helmets. These mini helmets were like $30 each or something, which still feels a little expensive for just something that's going to sit on your shelf. But again, I would love to get like a Bengals helmet. I would love to get their other Jets helmets. I'd love to get a full-size Jets helmet that looks like this one. And then there's like the modern, the one that they wear in their regular games, not like this alternate one. But I sort of bought this, like it was something that I wanted, and I kept thinking about it, and eventually I was like, fuck it. And I kept thinking to myself, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have bought it. But every time I see it in my room, it makes me smile. And I probably put it on once a day. Maybe not quite that often, but I do put it on. I do wear it every now and then, late at night when I'm in my room by myself. I'll put it on, look at my reflection in the window, see how cool I look. Okay, I should put this down now because we do have more manga to talk about. I thought about wearing this for the whole video, but I realized I can't have my headphones on, and I don't want to talk too loudly or too softly. Okay, let's move the mic back. Okay, now let's talk about, speaking of sports, we'll go with this manga next. So this is a very old manga that just came in the mail. I'm still so high on the football helmet. So this is if you can't read Japanese, this is Tiger Mask. This is a very old manga series, 14 volumes long. This was written in, I think, 1968 it started, volume 2. They have the same exact cover, same exact picture. And this was, I forget his name, but this was written and illustrated by two separate people. And it was written by the guy who wrote Ashita no Joe, which I've probably said it before in this channel, but Ashita no Joe is my favorite manga series of all time. So I really want to read this series. I don't think it's scanned online. I think I think having Japanese volumes is the only way to read it, because it's not in English, it's not translated online, or at least not the whole thing. But I'm very excited to read this. I don't know who the illustrator was. If someone can read Japanese, you can find his name. Or you could just Google Tiger Mask. There's a Wikipedia page for it. But I think this is a fairly well-known series in Japan. It's about a wrestler who wears a tiger mask. So it's about professional wrestling. I don't really know too much about it. How much did I... So I bought this on eBay. It came from Japan, and I paid $148 for it. Still paid more for that football helmet. Okay, I'll show some of the art inside. So again, this is like old art. I kind of like this old art style. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. I don't know exactly when or how. I don't know how many of the chapters online are actually translated to English. I don't know if I'll need to get like a Japanese to English dictionary and slowly go through it in order to read the rest of it, but I'm definitely, at the very least, I like having these old classic series in my collection. It looks like a lot of fun. And again, as I've said multiple times in this video, I like reading old series and stuff like that. And this is definitely an old series. I don't know where to put it. Okay, let's move this helmet over here. Oh, this is a mess. Okay, so then, speaking of, I guess, this is the opposite of an old series. I got 2 volumes of Triage X. I got volume 5. So speaking of, fan service, because I was talking about that earlier. And then I got volume 6. So for those of you who know, volume 5 is insanely expensive. These volumes retail for about $14. For some reason, volume 5 is absurdly expensive. I've not yet read it, so I don't know why. I have an idea, but whatever. I remember I spent about $89 on volume 4. I'm a little bit ashamed to say that I spent $130 on this volume right here. So this volume better be good. See if there's any art in here that I can actually show, because this is very fan servicey. Well, that's bloody, but I guess that's fine. So it's about what is it about? I've read the first 4 volumes. It's about a group of people who so Triage X, or Triage, I think, refers to some medical practice, I think, of deciding which patients to treat. Like if there's a bunch of people come in and are all injured, you have to decide as a doctor who you want to treat first, like who is like in danger of dying first. So, if someone falls and scrapes their knee, well, that person can wait a little bit, whereas the person that's been shot, you have to help them first. So this is, I think, about a group of doctors and nurses who basically go around and they sort of triage bad people in the society, but instead they sort of they killed them. I don't really remember. It's been a couple months, but this is written and illustrated by Shoji Sato, who was the illustrator of High School of the Dead, which, if you look at the character designs, explains a lot. So I have the first 6 volumes now. I know volume 7. Again, if you know anything about this series, you'll know volume 7 is absurdly expensive. I think this usually goes for like 120. Volume 7 goes for like 220. So knowing me, eventually I will pay for it, but I will pay that price. But it's just a shame that's so expensive. I was also considering, and I mean, I'm not thinking about doing it right now, but I was also thinking that maybe I would just buy a Japanese copy of that volume. I also thought I would do that with volume 5, but I ended up just buying that. So anyway, Triage X volumes 5 and 6. I have one of the hard to find volumes now. I guess I could sell that if I want to. I am excited to read that one too. Next, I have another old series. And this is, so I have two books. This is The Man Without Talent by Yoshiharu Tsuge. I have a Japanese friend that was telling me that I need to check out this guy's work. And if you read the quote on the back, my Japanese friend was basically saying that this guy is a fantastic manga artist, and he doesn't get a lot of attention in the West. And I don't know how to describe his work because I've not read these books yet. I also got a second one. What's this one called? The Swamp. Yeah. So Drawn and Quarterly, they are putting out like a collection of his work, like a full collection in multiple volumes. So I bought, this is the first volume. I think it's just like chronological order. What's it say in the back? So he was a Gekiga artist. And the back says he was not the first artist to use personal life as story material, but he was he was not only the first artist to use personal life as story material, he was also the first to make his characters' internal conflicts the center of his stories. His work did nothing less than redefine the comics medium for readers, creators, and the world of Japanese manga. And this is from Mitsuhiro Asakawa, who said that quote about him. Anyway, as I've been saying, like, I love old manga and stuff like that, and I feel like I can learn a lot from it. So when this was recommended to me, this creator, I immediately went and bought these 2 books. And so I'm very intrigued to see what these stories are like, and what these mangas are like, because it feels like they're very sort of I don't know if subdued is the right word, but they're not as crazy as some of the other books that you read, and it's not a lot of superpowers and people flying around. It seems like it's much more, as it said, internal conflicts. And so I'm looking forward to reading this. I have to find new things to say. Now, finally, we're at the very end with the last books. I don't think it's a surprise anymore. I got the entire series of Battle Royale. So here's what happened. So I was on eBay and I saw this Battle Royale Ultimate Edition Volume 1. I don't know what the actual it was an eBay auction, and I ended up paying $25 for it. And I've already read Battle Royale. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I thought, okay, well, even if I can't get Ultimate Editions 4 and 5, I can still... It would be cool to have at least some of the volumes in my collection. I'll show art later. So I bought this, and then I think right before... I don't even think I paid for it. Right before... I guess like I put a bid in and it ended up winning, but then I realized maybe I should just buy the singles instead. And so I have the entire series in singles, 15 volumes of Battle Royale, and I forget how much this was originally listed for, but I offered them $200. So I got the entire set for $200, which I think is a pretty good deal. Maybe not in terms of how much do these retail for? It doesn't say. Oh, $10. Okay, so I spent more than retail, but I just considering how much that some of these volumes go for, I don't feel too bad about it. But the thing I feel bad about is that I made the offer for this. It got accepted, so I had to pay it. But then I was like, well, can I go back and not buy this? And eBay said, no, you won it in an auction. You are legally obligated to buy it. It'd be funny if I just threw this across the room, but I'm not going to do that. So, great. So, I am excited to have Battle Royale. I remember reading it a couple years ago, and I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Very bloody. So, even though I don't have the Ultimate Editions, I'm not going to go out and buy those, but I have the entire series now. I'll show some of the art because I think the art is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I don't know if that's gorgeous, but it's just, who's the artist on this? Oh, there are two names on it. It doesn't say which one's the artist, which one's the writer. I know that this was originally a novel. And one of my friends read the original novel, and he said the novel is incredible because it goes into detail about all like 40 plus characters or something. I think there was also like a B movie or something in Japan. Oof. I do remember the ending and a little bit, but I think the thing that I remember the most about this manga was the scene in the lighthouse where like 1 second they're all alive and then like within 2 pages everyone's like shot and they all shoot each other. And I remember just being so amazed by that scene, by like just how well done it was. Volume 13. Volume 14. It's also weird that Playboy has reviews on the back. I mean, I don't know. That's not where I go to, get recommendations for manga. I just think it's a little odd. And then the final volume. Let's look at some art from the final volume. Or maybe not. The art is just so good. Okay, so that is it for the video. Let me grab my helmet. I'm not going to maybe I should put it on. So thank you guys for watching the video. This has been an hour. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Please leave a comment. Please comment your favorite football team or soccer team or sports team. And I don't know if anyone watched this entire video, thank you. But please like it, comment, ring the bell, subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Have a happy new year.